Why is that always happening to me? Thank you. Oh my gosh. That's one thing about this platform is I can't stop and start that again. So thank you. Welcome. Namaste. Akasha here, Nan Akasha. So we were having problems with my camera this morning, and you can see my head's kind of cut off. This is my kind of flower wreath crown. It's drying out from my hand fasting, which is a wedding, a goddess wedding that we had in October in England. So I'm going to share some miracles and some magic with you and what it looks like in real life, in an actual story that I'm living, my life, how things unfold when you use divine laws of magic, when you realize that prosperity magic, which is the primary word that I use. This is some white sage that I've been burning over here with my swan feather, which was a gift at my beautiful hand fasting. This is a non-legal wedding. I'm not legally married in England. It was really a celebration of our love, and I did get a private access time to the chalice well, which are gardens where one of the two springs, the red spring, the sacred divine feminine spring, 24/7 pours out, and they've built a peace garden and a gorgeous place. Artists have contributed things. Their symbol is a Vesica Pisces. I'll share with you in a moment. If you don't know about it, go read about it. They still carry on the tradition of, I think it's 3 minutes of peace once a day at a particular time. You're going to have to look up what time it is in England compared to where you are. And they hold a space of peace, which was started, I think, by Churchill during the war, where he had everyone stop and visualize and feel peace every single day at the same time. The power behind that is unfathomable. There's no description to it. That's magic. So I would love to hear, hi Leslie, I would love to hear, hopefully you're hearing me now, what you think miracles are, what you think magic is. Do you think it's real? Do you think it's possible? Do you think it's a fantasy? Do you think that you have to be really practiced at it? Do you have to have a lot of training at it? Like, what do you think about it? Do you fear it? You know, do you have the cultural fear around the idea of magic, being a witch, or being killed for who you are and your healing powers? All of that is essentially what we call divine sacred feminine, the mysteries of the sacred feminine. And we know in our world, we have been living out a story, a history as a collective, and we're each our own creator in our own reality. However, if you're collectively experiencing something similar, now I'm experiencing what's happening in the world very differently than you are, but there is a commonality. We're here together. We have an intersection in my reality and your reality, of which we are both the only authority. We are the I am, we are the source, we are God, goddess, mother, father, God, creator, infinite, whatever you want to call it. That's you. There is no one else. There's no authority outside of you. There's no God outside of you. There's no one in a physical body that's definitely an authority outside of you. But yet this is how we've been raised. This is how we have lived. And wow, it feels like something's moving around on my head. This is how I'm going to take this off. It feels weird. Thank you. I'm going to put you over here together. It feels like, all the fears of the ages have been coming up for about 20 years now. I've seen in my clients, in my classes, that what I call the burned at the stake syndrome is coming up. What does that mean? That's our inner programmed fear culturally across the planet by different forms of authority for different reasons. And I'm not going to judge anybody's reasons. However, everything that you've been taught by family or religion, by schools, by groups of friends, by your workplace, by your training in school or in healing or whatever, by any kind of outside authority, there's times to say, wow, you know what? You have wisdom I'm going to take your class, right? I'm going to read this book. I'm going to go on this experience. And then you are saying, you have something I would like to learn. And you're being the student, but you're never less than anyone else. You're simply choosing what you want. Daily magic is what you do anyway. You're doing it unconsciously or partially conscious if you're hanging out with me, right? And you're doing it in a way where maybe you have some things you've become aware of. Maybe you're really good at meditating. Maybe you're really good at weaving your light body, like Cheryl and a lot of my students. Maybe you're good at bringing yourself back into the present moment from the past or the future or the fear. Maybe you've learned something like the Wishes Fulfilled workshop, which is on a big sale right now. For the gratitude sale is on in the shop. And you can take any tools that you've learned, anything that's become a benefit to you, that lifts you up, that supports you, that helps you to go, who am I? What do I want? Once you declare what you want, that is a very ego-based and emotional-based thing, but it must be addressed first because it is the densest thing. The reason that people don't practice daily magic is, one, they don't believe they are magic. They don't believe in magic, or they fear magic. What is magic? Here's my definition of magic. It is your natural state of awareness that you are a multidimensional being, and you can insert your own word. You are source, you are the creator, you are the divine, you are God, goddess, whatever you want to call it. Source. Okay, use the word that works for you. Now, this isn't about there's one thing and you can't believe in anything else, because here's the thing. The one thing is we are one. Everything is one. Everything is thought. Everything is luminous light. Everything is energy. And it goes on and on and on, which is the reason why I love being here in a body, because I can keep learning. I can keep finding secrets that are ancient or new. Somebody who's come out with a new way of saying an ancient truth that suddenly rings within me. This is what I do for my students, for my clients, is I bring so many levels of your light body, your being, aware, awake, unburdened. I free you of mindsets or blocks. And the first densest field of your light body, from physical to physical etheric, which is your auric field, is your emotional field. It is dense and it is powerful. And when you reclaim your emotion, you reclaim your power center, but it is polluted, right? This person says that and I get triggered with this. I carry guilt around. I always feel like I'm not going to be good enough. I feel like something bad's going to happen. I feel like if I declare what I want and I get what I want and I go for what I want and I'm happy, something bad will happen, or I'll have consequences, or I'll have to sacrifice, or I'll have to struggle, or people won't like it, or I'll lose my family, or I'll lose my job, or whatever. Okay. Whatever you are, wherever you are right now, the magic is not in staying the same. The magic is not deciding that the past determines the future. It doesn't. And when you realize you're in a liquid light line, an infinite flow, past and future can both be reviewed, reaccessed, repealed, renewed, and rejuvenated. And when you work your timeline in both directions, when you work yourself in above and below, now you're creating a sacred cross. You're connecting to those sacred directions that every culture talks about, right? The four directions, all the indigenous cultures or goddess cultures and nature culture, traditions, and a lot of other things will call the directions, will call the water elements, water, air, earth, fire, relates to a different direction, north, south, east, west. And then the Mayan and some cultures now, which is what I would call myself like a cosmic shaman, meaning like I'm integrating a lot of different ideas and trainings through me, and then through my experience, and then through my words, and then through my visions, and then through the entities and the realms that I've connected to, and then to the teachings that then become alive inside of you when you repeat them long enough to reprogram your mind and create new neural pathways in your mind. That's magic. And you have to do something every day that shows you, that goes back. You cannot spend most of your time thinking, feeling, acting, deciding, choosing, experiencing, predicting, okay? Where your attention goes is where all your power is. Your energy is flowing there. If you're thinking about something repeatedly, and is it destructive or is it creative? This is the power of daily magic, is that you start to say, I'm ready to live a magical life. What does that mean? I'm declaring that I am. I am this moment, the one thinker in my mind. I am the observer, and I'm also me in myself. I am Akasha, and I am this bigger divine being, and I am the infinite field. Therefore, I have access to everything. I can choose any kind of life I want. None of the limits, none of the illusions, none of the lack, none of the trauma, none of the drama, none of the I failed, none of the I didn't do this, I didn't get that, that person did this. None of it is real or true. It's only what you are aware of and what is operating in your life, because you are not standing in your magic. You are not standing in that present moment that is full of transitional energy, that is flowing through you all the time. And when you realize that there is not a single moment that you are not supported, that you do not have access to your blueprint, which as you clear and cleanse out your emotional field, which is what we have to do first, right? That heavy, dense stuff. Now you get some energy, you get some power, you get some clarity, you get some lightness, and we can move into the mind. And the mind is a power creator, but it is mostly held in ego. So I tell you, say what you want first and let the emotion and the ego go crazy. Don't worry about it. Say, I want my soulmate here, damn it. And I want to feel healthy every day and flexible and alive. And I want to be able to hike 50 miles a day or whatever, right? I want to feel the magic. I want to talk to the fairies. I want to see the energies. I want to be in communion with my higher self. I want to live in a place of harmony. I want harmony with my family. I want harmony with my work. I want to find new streams of income where I get to do what I love, when and with whom I want to do it. And then I am ready and willing to live in that. And this is what it would feel like. And then you start imagining it, and you start looking for it, and you start feeling it, and you start dreaming it, and you start doing all of the daily magic, all of the magic that I teach. You use it on a daily basis. You do not go a single day without a shower or brushing your teeth or changing your clothes or eating or drinking water. This is more important than every single one of them, because this is your spiritual body. This is your purpose. This is your promise to your soul. This is something you cannot deny any longer. You are not at the mercy of the world. This is your time to step up and to become that which you are designed to be. Your soul intended something. You're not screwing up. You're not failing. Nothing you have done is wrong. You've got to get out of all of that, but you can't bring any of it with you into your new state of consciousness. And when your new intention is that I am going to activate the magic every day of my life, I am going to look for my center. I am going to feel into the support. I am going to remember the present moment is the only thing that exists. And I'm going to get out of the future and out of the past. And I'm going to bring all my senses in here. And I'm going to connect to that support. And I'm going to feel that love. And I'm going to fill the present moment with what I want, because I am the what? You're the source. You're the divine. You're the creator. You're the goddess. You're whatever you want to call it. Okay? And it's not ego to say that you are that, because you can look in past scripture where they say over and over, it isn't vain to claim that you are source or God or the Father or the One. It is exactly what everything is telling you in code, whether it's ancient Egypt or ancient Mayan, whether it's current teachings, whether it's meditation, whether it's oracle cards. What is speaking to you? What delights you? What do you love? What way would you love to feel? And that flowing communication between you and your auric field, and then lightening your emotional field so you can feel and start to clear the mind. And when you clear the mind, you can start saying, oh, I would think this, and I would feel that, and I would say this, and I would decide that, and it would feel like this. And then you walk into that reality. And instead of waiting to take a class or waiting until Saturday when you have 2 hours to yourself, you have to make time for yourself. You will not change your life ever until you become in awareness, in consciousness, and then in all your senses on a moment by moment, a daily basis. You need support weekly, daily. You need to do your practices. You need to carve out the time. You need to do it as if your life depends on it. If a doctor told you you're going to die in 3 days, unless you start your spiritual practice and you spend 2 hours a day, and I don't care when you do it or how you do it, and you don't whine about it, and you don't complain about it, and you don't start blaming everything in your world that you don't have time for yourself. It's you, you're the creator, you chose it, but everything's already created. Choose something different. Imagine something different. Let that door open for you. And when you do your daily practices, when you have your daily activations, when you understand what is the most important thing to do and the simplest thing to do, activate in 3 minutes. I'm going to give you these practices. And it's one of the things that's going to be in the gratitude sale. So the gratitude sale is on right now. This particular class is not there because Saturday I'm going to do a special call for you right here where I'm going to go deeper into this. So right now I'm going to move on to there you go. That's where you're going to find the gratitude sale. So there's some goodies there now. Some things are $5, some things are 50% off. And there's 3 new things. This is one of them that are coming up. And I'll share more about them. However, I want to get into this idea of miracles and magic. I have avoided using the word magic in my business and online for a long time because I'm a huge magic girl. As a little girl, I believed in magic and fairies, and I talked to people and I knew it was all real until, yes, I was convinced to stop doing that. And then I was called back to it, and through meditation and then through goddess work and through becoming the ritual planning committee on the Reformed Congregation of the Goddess for 16 years or something. And more like the shamans and the indigenous and the mystery schools, and going to Egypt and spending 4 hours, 2 days in a row with just a group of 222. Think about that. People, that sacred number, and we're all chanting and toning and opening and vibrating the pyramid, which is opening to other dimensions, and we're ascending and we're moving. Like, these are the experiences to me that I would never live my life without. And what I've learned is that prosperity is daily remembering I am preparing for a moment that could happen in 3 seconds. I'm preparing for a moment that could happen in 3 days or 3 weeks. When do I want it to happen? How can you be both in the flow of letting go of too much ego desperation and in the flow of being the intender, being a little bit more proud, a little bit more like ask, seek, knock, do it again, ask, seek, knock, do it again every single day? Because why? Here's a secret. You must become natural in the way you feel, doing your daily magic. That's your intention. That's your visualizing. That's your imagining. That's your deciding. That's your choosing. That's your giving yourself a moment to ponder, to think, to receive, to connect to the divine, to connect to your guides, to your sacred power animals, to the elements, to the fairies, to the God, to the full moon, to whatever's happening. Okay. I'm talking to all these energies all the time. And I'm very in tune with the flow of the cycles of the seasons. So with the moon or the eclipse, or we just went through portal of Pluto entering Aquarius for 20 years. So was very aware of that, right? And I did a show on it. You can still watch that. And all the energies of that portal of that day, the peak day, are imprinted on that video. So make sure you subscribe. So this secret of realizing that the only thing that will change, all the other practices you do are wonderful. However, are you finding you're not getting the results, or it's taking a long time, or they're really weak, or what? Or what do you do in the meantime? How do you handle the doubt? How do you handle the interim between like, this is what I want. Okay, now I go under what I want. Because as soon as you start going for what you want, you're going to find what's underneath it. So don't worry about it. Naturally, the ego shell will fall away and you will say, I want this. And then, oh, Well, why do I want that? Well, because this will happen and this will be possible. And how will that feel? Oh, well, I will feel like this. So ultimately, what you're really looking for is the feeling, and you can go there first. You can say, I intend on a daily basis to align myself with my highest good, with my optimal flow, with the divine infinite law of abundance that's always working for me, through me, to me, and all around me. And that flow is here, and my divine guidance is here, and my intuitive network is clear, and I can feel them, and I walk every day, and my steps and my thought and my breath and everything is incrementally being guided by divine wisdom and infinite intelligence. And I release that, and I become present in the moment, and I see and I receive and I give and I overflow, and I choose only what it is that my heart desires. And each moment it changes, and I allow it to change. This is the kind of thing that daily magic is going to do for you. Is I'm going to bring through these different mantras, these different declarations, these different directions, these different spells, these different programs. These work on multiple levels. They work with your mind, and they reprogram the neural pathways in your brain. Your brain and your mind are two different things. Your mind is an an energetic field. It's a part of your light body. Your brain is a part of your physical body, and it interfaces right through the chakras. So we're working with the chakras in the central channel. We're working with the kundalini. We're working with the deeper levels of what these are as they're bringing energy in and out of your body. We're respecting and understanding that your entire energy field holds the codes, holds the promise, holds the powers, and holds the portals to your Akashic records and to all of who you are, yourself in both directions, yourself in the future and in the past, in this life, in any other life. It's all done. It is all simultaneous. It is all created. There's nothing that you want in the future that you need to make. You need to decide you want it. It's sitting on a shelf in the store. It is your choice to go to Amazon, to go to the universal Amazon and to create your order. Say, you know what I would really like now is this. And the more detailed you become about, whoa, if I have that, how would that feel? Oh, and I spend time thinking and pondering and imagining how it would feel and who I would talk to. And then I come back daily and I see it again, and it grows and it connects. And now it's attracting other people and other dimensions, and it's attracting wisdom from other lives, and it's attracting parts of me I never remembered. And it's bringing forward blocks and curses and agreements that are holding me back. And all the healing you need is going to come up in your daily practice. You do not need to go looking for your blocks. They will be there. You need to go looking for your bliss life, your path, because then the people who appear will be aligned with your bliss. They will be the people you get to play with in your field of bliss. And then what happens is what I'm about to share with you. Oh, I'm so glad the kitty Lewis came back. Whee! Yay, kitties. I know. I used to live where there were coyotes, and wow, it was a lot. My cat, I didn't let my cats out, and then I got a cat that my dearest Greta, she was like, too bad, I'm going out. You don't get to say, I'm going out, I'm going out, I'm going out, until finally it was like, okay, so you're going out. And I'm in agreement with that. I had a choice, right? So strong women. I love strong women. All right. So my computer, my internet's a little slow. Here we go. There we are. So I'm teaching you which is fulfilled. And the workshop that I just did is on the gratitude sale. So definitely check it out. Next, I'm going to teach you daily magic, and I'm going to share more about that on Saturday. It's going to be something that is like my energy cleanses course, which I highly recommend. It is also on sale. It's practices that you pick them up and say, oh, I'm going to do this. And you learn to construct light structures around your house, around your body, around your heart, around your cut, around a person, around a place. You learn to activate certain energies, co-create protection, power, aligning with your highest good, allowing your flow of energy. So all of these things are vital. And instead of teaching you, making you go through a full light body school and mystery school, I'm taking these wisdoms and these sacred tools and I'm putting them into these smaller classes. So this year, the version of the energy cleanses, the daily, which like I said, go get that, is going to be daily magic. So I'm going to share more about that on Saturday. Then starting, I think in December, we're going to have Wishes Fulfilled Weekly. And so what I want to do is today we're talking about manifesting miracles, magic, and real life bliss. So I'm going to share the story of this, which is my hand fasting, which is my wedding, everything from the rings and the dress and the place and the people all came together, absolutely effortless, absolute pure magic, miracles everywhere. And I was allowing it and floating in it and feeling so blissed out, feeling everything I would have ever wanted to feel. And I didn't have any stress of figuring it out because I completely let go. I'm going to show you in the story so you can read into the story and understand the energy flow going on behind it. Because manifesting in miracles means you have to master your emotions and your mind as much as you can in each moment, practice daily, and be ready for those moments when the universe just is going to rearrange everything in a way you could never imagine, with so much beauty and so much elegance and exactly the way you wanted. And no amount of planning, stress, or money could have done that for you. And it was effortless. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing in a minute. And what I want to do is really let you see, become inspired and energized. And I had a school when my kids were little, and it was based on Waldorf and Montessori. And Waldorf is a Rudolf Steiner. I highly recommend his writings if you're into philosophical, spiritual understanding. And he understood children very well. And we all learn through archetypes. We learn through fairy tales. And that is really what happened to me. It was like a real life fairy tale that happened in a magical way, which we would call a fairy tale. And if you like that idea, not the real fairy tales that were really kind of gory and often commentary on landlords and government, the distilled fairy tale, the idea of a fairy goddess mother like me, I've accepted that's what I am, and I've accepted that I also have one or more. And that means, magical mentors are there. Everything is here. And the more you believe in that magic, the more you choose it, the more you decide that's what you would want. If you could choose any life you want, then you do it. So I shared recently that, I don't know, a month or so ago, I came back from England. I'm at a different level. My life isn't the same. It's not like I came back in and I'm integrating. I'm not. I stayed at the same level and I kept going. And then we went on a trip and got called into the jungle and spent 3 days in the jungle with the pyramids, talking to Kukulkan, who's the serpent god, feathered serpent, who is the guide to lead you back to yourself and your feathers and your spirit and to shed the old. Profound. And then I got again called forward, and just miracles and magic were opening doors all the way along the way. Ended up realizing we were on our honeymoon. Well, why not? Because this happened in October. So just letting the universe just call to me and hearing is an increasing of your intuition on a daily basis. That's part of daily miracles and magic. And listening to it lets you just show up and say, I wonder why I'm here. This is so beautiful. I know that I've intended harmony, peace, beauty, love, right? All these things, prosperity, it's what I'm doing 24/7, putting into my reality. This is who I am. This is how I feel. This is the end result I'm going towards. This is what I am manifesting. So I embody prosperity. I embody the end result every minute. And these courses, these things are how I am bringing that to you so I can support you to develop this as a habit you will never let go of. Okay, so the gratitude sale is on at the shop. I love her magic. Woo, baby. Okay, and it's a magic sale. So first of all, Wishes Fulfilled Weekly. You can go check that out. I'll talk a little more about that in another video. However, the Wishes Fulfilled workshop, which is on sale, really brought forward that these principles need to be practiced daily, and they need to be practiced weekly, and there needs to be a support group, and there needs to be a way of being supported. So there's a WhatsApp chat and there's a weekly meeting, and this is all about consciously being in a co-creative group. And the Sacred Spirit Guide Circle is morphing into this, and this is going to be on offer, and it's going to be something we're going to do for 2 months, and we're going to then see how it unfolds from there. So it's a 2-month decision to join in, and there's lots of ways to do it, and there's a very special price. The next way that I am sharing with you how to live magic on a daily basis, how to never give anyone else your power, your past, your fear, how much money you have in your bank. None of these decide what you get to do. None of these decide where you want to live. None of these decide who you're worthy of dating or marrying, what you're willing to do. Nobody else gets to decide that. This is about freedom. So we're activating the laws of liberty. We're activating the divine laws of abundance. We're going to get it so that you are feeling them flowing through you, understanding, remembering, creating new neural pathways in your brain, then in your electrical system, then in your body, in your chakras, so that everything is natural and it is happening naturally, and you can feel it and you can see it even when you don't see it with your senses, because you are going to learn that daily magic is not seeing what is there based on your physical senses. That is the illusion of the past and the lack. You need to be seeing with sunglasses of your future. Okay, and so I'm going to take you to a new intuition awakening. So those of you who were in Intuition Awakening this summer, thank you for being so patient. We talked about starting a class now, right, this month, and going into the next step, like certifying how to see and do the trauma. Instead, what they've told me to do is to bring out the oracle cards. So the sooner you join this, the sooner we can put your order in for your oracle card deck. This is the only way to buy the oracle card deck right now. It is complete. It is gorgeous. We sold out of what we printed in England. Yay. And we've been having phenomenal feedback. So this is a training on oracle card readings using this deck. And we're going to go deep into communicating, channeling transmissions from at least 10 of the different divine, sacred, feminine energies that are a part of this deck. We're going to go deep into understanding symbolism, understanding readings, opening yourself, showing you how to use oracle cards, any kind, in a completely new way, intuitive, co-creative, in all kinds of ways that you've never imagined. I want to take you through that training because it is a powerful intuition awakening. You open up senses. You are giving spirit, you're giving the divine, you're giving what you've put into this future, because that's what Goddess is going to give you, a way of communicating to you. So oracle cards are a powerful and easy way on a daily magic basis to bring information into your life, to get a focus, to get a message, to get support, to get a direction, to get prophecy, because you are a prophet. You are becoming the prophet of your life. You're the prophetess. That means that you are seeing the future of your life because you are deciding the future of your life. You're not going, I hope my future is okay, and one day I will be prosperous, and one day this will happen for me. No, we're not doing that anymore. We're saying I am, and when I have an I am in my life, I am taking that I am and I am putting it there, and I am saying, based on what I know right now, and then what is optimal for my highest good, here's where I would like. So let's just say you want money. I just need money. Why do you need money? Oh, I need money to pay my rent and feel safe and secure and go on a trip and do this and that and help my children. And, it goes on and on and on. Everybody needs money. Okay. It's never about the money. I just want to let you know. So the good thing is I'm going to teach you all the principles that are underneath it, and you're going to start to see money as just one of the many energies that are here available in your giant art kit, your paint kit, right? You're the painter, you're the writer, okay, of your life. And so this is going to give you ways of communicating. I'm going to awaken you to being a clearer channel. So you're going to get information from reading the card and then reading the information. And you're going to get, if you join this, all of the enormous book Okay. It's like 60 pages, 160 pages. I don't know. It's like friggin' enormous. All right. It's huge. I guess there's no pages. Um, uh, because this will not all be in the final deck. I'm talking to publishers now. If you have a publisher you think would be good for this, I would appreciate a connection or whatever way you want to connect me or give me some information. That would be wonderful. So there's a lot of publishers that are interested in this, and I want to open myself to the channel that's going to have the right energies for the Oracle deck and then the books around it to come out. So then this is going to be, a little more condensed for what comes with the deck. Like, you always get a booklet, and then there's going to be a full book, okay, that you don't have to have the deck, but that will be this and more. It's going to be this and the Prosperity Magic class from last year, which is also on sale right now. So this is highly recommended. Do not miss this Intuition Awakening class. It's starting near the end of January. And so if you order now, you have payment plans and sale price. Everything is on sale through December 1st. That's it. And then, of course, you can still join after that. And then the sooner that we get your order, we'll get the decks started to be printed. So very excited about this. And I know many people have been waiting over a year to get the deck. And if you have the deck and you have stories, because I was getting amazing stories. One woman bought the deck and came back the next day where I had a booth and I was speaking at the Glastonbury conference with Portal to Ascension. And she came back the next day and she looked at me with these huge eyes and she said, I have dozens of Oracle decks. I've been working with them for years. And she said, I took these home, I opened them up, and every fiber of my being started vibrating. I was up half the night. Every card I pulled was coming alive, was moving through me vibrationally. I was having this whole entire healing, like it just went on and on and on. And so this is because of everything I combine, all of the sacred magic that I know, all of the prosperity, all of the colors of talking to the realms, of working with sacred energies, working with sacred symbols, what kind of energies they hold. These are encoded, okay? So when you look at them, they come through in the digital image. This one is coming through, and she's holding that sphere of the flower of life. And there's a lot of deep magic happening just inside of that, right? So this is a must do magic class in the Sacred Magic Mystery School for this next year, because we're diving deep into the sacred feminine mysteries. Now, this is Daily Magic, which I said I'm going to share more with you, and it's going to be a 4-part course, or whatever you want to call it. They're separate, they're individual, they're processes. There's going to be a training on that magic, and then there's going to be an implementation of it. So you listen to it. It's going to include ritual, altars, and a lot of other energies, new ways to work with things that you probably never worked with. So again, this is a very vital and very, very powerful course, and it's going to be extremely affordable. It is. And then I want you to get the Wishes Fulfilled workshop if you didn't, because it's all instant access right now. And the energy cleanses, which is, everyone should have these. These are body, mind, office, home. The Heal the Mother Wound is 50% off. The Prosperity Magic class is 50% off. That's a year ago. And then these are meditations that are right now only $5. So I highly recommend that you check all of those goodies out. And then make sure you go check into the shows we just did last week. With Maria, talking about the goddesses of Stonehenge, because we are going to be doing we're going to be doing a full retreat with Maria at Stonehenge and these other sacred stone places, all with the ancient goddesses of the Long Skulled and the Fae, and the goddesses in the temple areas, and the goddess stones, and all of the things that she knows about the energies there. That's all going to be a part of the retreat next year. So we're updating that page, and we'll be telling you more about that. And then in March, I will be doing a Mayan magic retreat, and separate from that, a 3-day dolphin light body healing training. And so those will be coming all very soon. So now I want to share with you a magical story. So what happened when I was invited to speak at the conference with Portal to Ascension? was, I don't know if it was a year ago, it was maybe I think it was about a year ago. And so immediately I started thinking, well, if I'm flying all the way to England, and yes, I grew up in London, I want to do a retreat. And if I'm going to this area with Stonehenge and all these sacred stone circles and long barrows and other cool things that are the equivalent of pyramids, like where I live, my favorite thing to do is go do things at sacred sites and use the energies and the earth energies and the stone energies and the ancestor energies and all of that. My God, that's my favorite thing, right? So I do that here with the Mayans, and I used to do that with the places in Egypt and other places. And so I was like, yes, I'm definitely going to plan a retreat. And I dove in and I started meeting amazing people and finding out about places like the Chalice Well. So this behind us, this is Chris and I on our hand fasting day, or our wedding day, October 4th. So what happened is we went for a longer period of time. We went early. We got there early into this town as well. We spent time in London. I went and did some conferences with Maria Wheatley, went to some very amazing sacred stone places. And then we arrived here and we stayed 2 days in the Chalice Well Gardens. There's a retreat house, no electronics, no internet, and 24-hour access to the gardens. So you see behind us, this is the first garden when you enter, and that is a fountain coming down, all shaped like a very beautiful feminine yoni, into this sacred pool that is shaped like a Vesica Pisces, which is the two interlocking circles. It is the step 2 of building the flower of life, building life out of the circle, right? And the second circle, and they cross, and in the middle they create an eye, and that's where you are. That is let there be light, and that is the all-seeing eye. So you'll see that more here. It is the symbol of this garden, and this is considered the sacred feminine spring. There is a white spring right next to it that comes out, and there's a white spring place we also went to for the retreat. However, here there's gardens after gardens. You just keep going up the hill, and the next one has a different fountain type structure. You can stand in the water, you can drink the water. There's a lion's head where it comes, there's flowers, there's little places to sit with angels, and then you get to the top and there's the well head, and it's where their famous symbol is on their Vesica Pisces symbol on the well head, and it's a beautiful little place to sit. But then next to it, on the side of that area, is another open well, and it is the ancient well. It is the one previous to that one. It is the mother well. And next to it on the wall are these little openings that has this beautiful goddess with a little child. It is not Mary, it's non-denominational. This beautiful artist made it for this place to honor the goddess, to honor mother, the mother nature, and this sacred feminine water well, because it has rust and it's red, so it's considered to be like the blood of the female, and that represents fertility. That represents the ability to create, right? That ability to flow with life force, to replenish your life force. And so we had our wedding there. So we went the day before and we meditated around where we might want to do it. We decided to do it there by that ancient well. Now, what happened was, as I was learning about the area, I found out I could get private access here and at the White Springs. And I said, that's what I love to do for my retreats, is do as much as possible in a very sacred, special way. So we go here, private access. We got there. So it took a long time, but I got private access to both places for my retreat, and it was incredible. And we're going to do that again next year. And then I also thought, wow, I'm in the middle of the area where there's all these celebrants, and those are people who are trained to do hand fastings or as ministers to perform weddings, both legally or not. On ours wasn't. And it's normal, it's common to do hand fastings. People know what they are there because it's such a huge goddess community. There's a goddess house, a goddess temple. And so I thought, oh my gosh, I want to do that with Chris. What a beautiful thing to do, to use that culture and that area and all the energies, because I'm actually Celtic. I am adopted, and my parents that raised me are German and Scandinavian. However, I am adopted from Scottish, Irish, German, all Celtic background. So that is my genes, my ancestors in that sense. And I've been called here into that kind of thing many times in my life, many times. I lived in London twice. And so this was a calling back to this. And I thought, this is perfect. This is like bringing a completion and a circle around into my life. So I petitioned for 2 dates, and they actually gave it to me. So I didn't have a choice over what date. They only give out 2 private things a week. So the week prior to my retreat was before anybody on my retreat arrived. And then it was 4 days after the conference ended. So almost everybody I knew with the conference, who were organizers and other speakers and everything, they were already gone. So I also was, even though 6 months contacting different celebrants, I could never find somebody to perform the ceremony. So 5 days before, I was sitting there and I said to Chris, well, you know what? I have no one to perform the ceremony. I know no one who's going to be here to come to it. I know I have a client, and I have Maria, my dear Maria Wheatley, but they're, about 2 hours away. They live about 2 hours away. And then I did have Sky, my beautiful client who lives there. And so I thought, well, I could invite her, and it could be the 3 of us, or it could just be Chris and I, and we'll just go meditate. So I didn't worry about it. I didn't do a lot of planning. I didn't buy a dress. I didn't buy flowers or a bouquet. I didn't think about the ceremony. I didn't do anything. I just went, okay, well, we have the place, and that's all we have, and it'll unfold the way it needs to unfold, because I'm very busy doing so many other things. And I'm in this sacred place, and I've been doing ceremony. I've been doing all kinds of wonderful things. So I'm just saying, okay, it's going to unfold. And this is part of magic and miracles living in your life, is you are the one choosing. That's why I'm telling you, what do I want? What's behind that? And then you get to a wish. And a wish is not an ego want. I wish I felt peace. I wish I felt relaxed. I wish I felt trust. And then that becomes underlying something that then manifests into, a thing, right? Or a relationship. So there's a design of saying what you want and then letting it go. So I said what I wanted, and I contacted a lot of celebrants, and I asked around, and then I asked again. And so I just decided to surrender. It wasn't coming together. And I was just like, well, whatever it will be beautiful. And we've already paid for the time, and we can't get it back. And it's the garden, the land, the guardians, the fae, the spirits, all of the spirits I work with every day. They said, do this, so I've paid for that sacred space. There's going to be a bunch of people there in spirit, a lot of beautiful energies. There's some reason this moment in time was designed for us. I fully trust that. That's the harmony and beauty of my life. So then I just went, okay, we're going to do that. So within about 5 days, it went from that situation to, I mentioned to Sky, my friend and client who lives there. She helped me with my booth. And her and her daughter helped me so much getting things ready over there. And I so enjoyed getting to meet her in person. It's been years since she's been one of my intuition students. And but I didn't know. So I said to her, well, this is my last option. You popped in my head, and I'm just going to tell you, hey, we're doing this on Friday. And if you'd like to join Chris and I, you and your daughter, we're just going to go to the gardens and just meditate and talk to spirit and see what energies are there. I'm sure it will be beautiful, but there's no ceremony because I don't know a celebrant. And she said, well, I'm an ordained minister, and I do these. And I'm like, what? And that was the door. That was the door. When you get on your path of bliss, when you follow your bliss, you don't follow your pain, you don't follow your past, you start to become the creator from the future. You're inside out manifesting, you're going into the future. I want to have a beautiful ceremony at this sacred garden with my beloved. I want it to feel magical and beautiful. I want it to be all, connected to the fairies. And what do I need to do? Okay, book the place. And then everything else was already taken care of, but I didn't have a clue, and I had no ego attachment to it being a certain way. I need people. I want this. I want that. So she said, yeah. So she started to send me ideas for the ceremony, and we co-created this unbelievable script. I mean, unbelievable script. People were crying and people were asking for it afterwards. The whole ceremony was gorgeous. We designed an entire ceremony. She set up a whole altar in front of that goddess sculpture in that ancient well, and we and just everything just kept starting to just pop up. So I realized then the next day, well, maybe we should get some rings, you know. So we went looking at all the shops. We couldn't find any rings, even remotely what we like or that would fit us. And it was sort of like, well, if we really have to, we'll come back to this. But we want a sacred ring. We've had flower of life rings. We've had Celtic knot rings, and since we're not, legally married, there's just been a different aspect of a love, connection. And we've had a spiritual wedding in the cenotes here a few years back with our divine goddess Cacao, goddess Michelle. And so we were just there to celebrate, but it felt like it was wonderful. And all these things that happened was I ended up with this gown, this dress, and this gorgeous gown. And the day before, we went to the gardens to confirm everything with the office, and then we went in and we meditated in different spots because we wanted to make sure what are the energies. And we talked to the guardians and we asked for permission, and we asked for the harmonious flow to open up and guide us here in whatever way it was going to be. And I still didn't know if anyone was going to show up. But over those 3 days, I started to see people in town that I didn't know were still there. And I was having coffee or something, or they would walk by. And so I would say, oh, hi, I didn't know you were still here. Would you like to come? Oh, yeah, maybe I could come. So we'd exchange phone numbers. And we ended up with 11 people. It's just like crazy, really, really crazy. And we ended up with 11 people. Give me a second. Okay. We ended up with 11 people. 2 of the gorgeous men were professional photographers and brought their professional camera. And when we left that morning, I said to Chris, I just help me remember to have one person take a picture of us with my phone. That's all I want. I just want to make sure I have one picture. And I love pictures. We have over 500 photos. The entire time we entered, and Sky and her daughter were up at the top gardens preparing everything, the altar and getting the sacred space ready. The rest of us are gathering in the lower gardens, and we had 3 gardens we could go to. And they started saying, well, let's take some pictures. You pose over here, and they're taking them from here and from there and from here. And so that's what these pictures are. They're professional pictures. I didn't plan it. I didn't pay for it. They came, they wanted to do it. They just showed up. One lady showed up with all of these flowers and vines from the local, from nature, and gave me a bouquet. I didn't have a bouquet. I didn't plan on a bouquet. Another lady, it was very, very cold, had this beautiful white fur coat, and it's underneath this thing because they were taking pictures of us and I was freezing. And so she's like, no, you need my coat. And she started carrying my things, and she's like, oh, I'm your bridesmaid. This is so much fun. She came to me the day before and she said, I'm so excited and so honored to be coming to this, and I want to give you something. And she handed me a red cord, silk cord. And she said, this was given to me and blessed by the Dalai Lama. Can you feel the vibration now? And she said, and I was he gave me a few of them, and I know that this is meant to be yours. And this another one for Chris, because I said to her, oh my God, this is going to be so special. The Dalai Lama really means a lot to Chris. And she said, oh, well, then he needs his own. And there I was standing with 2 silk cords from the Dalai Lama. I couldn't have planned that. This is magic. This is miracles. This is being willing to accept miracles beyond beauty, things that mean so much to us. So those became part of our ceremony. Then she contacted me and she said, I have some special smudge and I would love to smudge you or the group if that's okay with you. And I do have an eagle feather, which is traditional, but I have a swan feather, and I would kind of feel like I would love to do it with the swan feather, but I want to see if it's okay with you. And I'm like, are you kidding me? 1, swans, weddings, mate for life, love, white, divine, beautiful, ugly ducklings becoming gorgeous beings. This is like, there's no symbolism here that's a no. And then the most famous Celtic goddess that we're doing one of our days in her room is Brigitte or British Islands, the Brigitte Islands, or all the different ways, the Bridie that they say her name. And her symbol is a swan. And then we went to London afterwards and found all these swans were everywhere, all around us at the park. It was just like a constant thing. And then I was like, why, yes, wow, a swan feather. Could I touch it? And then she gave it to me as a gift. And it is so beat up because it has been going everywhere with me. And this is just, to me, just this alone, outside of everything else that happened, this is magic. This is like, how could I end up with a swan feather and through this sacred way? And now I have Dalai Lama energy, and we're blessed with that. Like, are getting, and then she made these gorgeous crowns out of flowers that we got to keep. And there was, then this other lady brought, I can't even remember now everything that came. Oh, so then the rings. So I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to see if I have a picture of the rings here. So this is Sky, my client who did the ceremony. Isn't she gorgeous? And she's putting my crown on me. And this is her drumming in the ceremony. And these are some of the ladies that came, and they just look like little elves. That's Sky again. And here's the altar. And you can see there's some other feathers that came. There's these gorgeous flowers. The hand fasting involves these ribbons that she braided that you tie onto each other's hands, and we weave together as we make these beautiful declarations of love to be together, to co-create. And we were able to write the vows to call in, Thoth and goddesses and, everything the way that we want in such a beautiful way. So sacred. So here's our rings. This is the symbol of the chalice well, the two circles together that create the all-seeing eye in the center. This one guy that came with his camera that I met at the conference, who's become a dear friend, was opening some doors to some really cool things we may be doing in the future. I met all these people in my field of bliss because I went there willing to trust that I was called to England for all these different reasons, and that I was going to, and I intended that I was going to meet people that became friends and opened doors, and that those opened more doors, and that there was a co-creative magic that happened for all of us. So I saw one day that he had a ring on like this, but it was brass, I think. And he had it on his pinky, and I just was mesmerized. And I'm like, holy cow, I love that. And he said, I get it from a lady in the market, but the market's not till next week. And I said, I think that's our ring. That's our symbol. This is so perfect. We're going to be there at the gardens where this symbol's from. And he said, well, I know the lady who makes them. So over a period of 2 days, he connected me to her. And then it turned out the next day I was going to a kirtan that Sky invited me to. And it's like a singing thing. And this lady was leading it, who makes these rings. And she makes them for the chalice well, and they're pure silver. And so I went to the kirtan and got to sing and play with the goddess and do all this beautiful stuff. And she brought a whole bag of them. And I got to pick out my size, and she gave me 2 different ones to take just in case one didn't fit him. So the generosity and the beauty was here, and we got it back to her through my friend. And she was willing to trust, and paid her for the 2. And these became such a piece of the magic. Then you can see my dress and my kimono, I guess you call it. And you can see it a little bit better here. So see all these beautiful people, and you see this gorgeous garden. And this was us in our group. We had like 40 minutes to be in this beautiful group together in all the different areas of the magical garden. It was really, truly quite amazing. And this is one of the wells. This is called the King Arthur Holy Grail well, I think. And it's a little waterfall behind. You can see how it's turned the rock red. And you see my little bouquet that I'm holding of these gorgeous vines, this local vine. This is an ancient yew tree I don't even remember how ancient this tree is. It's one of the 2 guardians. It's the way that you enter the garden correctly. And we did a lot of magic work with these ancient beings. And so it was very important to me that they were a part of this. I speak to the land, This is not all of us, but this is a lot of our group here. And one lady brought an apple so that we could divide it the correct way across to have the seeds of life, the star of life, and Venus energy. And this is another part of the magic. So this is the head gardener for this place. And when we entered, because it was 2 hours before the public got to come in, we had the whole garden to ourselves. So we enter at the bottom through like an employee entrance. And one lady who was with us knew the gardener, and or no, it was the lady who let us in, who worked there. And she said, I want you to meet the gardener, and I want him to tell you something that's very special. Because you are having your wedding here, your hand fasting here this morning, this is a very special morning. This is a very sacred morning. This is a morning that most people do not ever get to experience. And this, we believe, is very important for you to understand that you're not just here with the usual wonderful energies, but there's something else going on. So the next level of magic was the gardener. And he said, I want to tell you, so the fountain behind us at this moment when we first entered was not flowing, which is weird. Okay. It flows 24/7. So we didn't really notice, but I was like, oh, and she said, as you notice that it's not flowing right now. And I said, oh yeah, what's wrong? And he said, I forget how often, once a month, once a quarter, once a something, we turn off, we block the flow, and we clean all of the fountains, and we clean all of the wells. And we do it in silence. There's 5 gardeners, and we spend 2 hours or 5 hours or something. I can't remember. It was 2 to 5 hours that they spend. I think it was more than 2 hours that they spend in absolute silence, because they have so much respect for this land, for the sacredness of this water, for this, what this well means, that it is a peace garden, that it is holding all these sacred energies, that it is full of fairy forests, that it has the energies of the Holy Grail and the this and the that and all of this beautiful stuff. So he said, we just did that last night. So it is the freshest it could possibly be for your wedding, for your beginning. The water is going to start flowing any minute. And right when he said that, it started to flow. And he goes, that is pure fresh water. And every well, every fountain is pure and clean and clear. And we feel it's important for you to know that this is part of the energy that you are entering into right now. Pure magic, non-stop magic. So I'm going to sit for a minute and see if there's any other little, the dress. So we went up the day before, we meditated, we picked the spot, we were walking home. Everything in town closes at 4 p.m. All the cafes, all the stores, it all closes at 4 p.m. It's about 5 minutes to 4. And I looked at Chris and I said, I suppose I should buy a dress. Since suddenly it looks like a few people are going to show up. We still didn't know it was going to be 3 people, but we had somebody who was going to do the ceremony. So we were like, okay, it's getting a little more official. We have rings. We have, I didn't have any of the rest of it. I didn't know who was going to show up or not. Everyone was kind of like a maybe. So I sent out a little invitation on WhatsApp and I said, come at this time. And then afterwards, we'll all go to this cafe and we'll have coffee and cake and it will be on us. It'll be like a little party and everything. And so we turned the corner onto the high street 5 minutes before they were closing. And the clothing stores on the high street, to be honest with you, they're all used clothing stores. So I just turned and walked into the first clothing store that was there. And I said, I'm just going to, for the hell of it, I'm going to duck in and just see what they have. And that's what I found. The dress was separate from the kimono. And to me, it was a pure fairy princess dress and a pure fairy princess kimono. And together, the two of them cost $90. Okay. Absolute pure magic. I have no idea how to even, grasp the depth of how everything just kept lining up. kept lining up, kept lining up. So the whole time I'm smiling, I'm floating, I'm feeling so mystical. I feel all the mystical energies, all the energies around. Everybody is crying. People were saying that is literally the most beautiful ceremony I've ever experienced in my life. Some of these people I barely knew, I've just gotten to know in the last few days or the last few weeks. And so it was like a profound transformational experience that we all got to be a part of. And every one of them were part of the miracle. And so what I do is I say that I am here living my path of bliss, and I'm walking on my path of bliss. And I'm so grateful for Sky, and I'm so grateful for all these beautiful people, and for Matt and Matt. Yeah, they're both of the photographers were named Matt. And for all the energies that came together that created this incredible experience. And then on the way to this trip, Chris died twice. And if you know, he died very severely 5 years ago. So there was a moment on the way to this entire trip that every timeline was open and available to me, where I could have been not on the trip because he was in the hospital or he was dead, or I could have been on the trip and he was in a hospital or dead. I don't know. All I know is that I am now, without apology, without any doubt, I live an infallible life that the optimal of my bliss will unfold. And my bliss is not loss and not pain. It is not focused on what if I lose, or it's not focused on anybody else's fear. It is not focused on war. It is not focused on what will other people think. It is not focused on doubt. I keep my mind and my energy full with daily magic all day, moment to moment magic, to be honest with you. So what I want you to take from this is whatever part of the story maybe warmed your heart. I may have shared some of our ceremony with you. I may do some of that. It was really profoundly beautiful. And there is a sense that beauty and wisdom are now woven into our lives. We've been together for 19 years. And we have no feeling that we need to be married in order to make a stronger commitment. I don't have any doubt that I want to be with anyone else. And yet we do these ceremonies to honor, to bring ourselves present to each other. We came home and I thought, okay, time to get back to work. I integrated over a few weeks. And then I thought I was going to be starting a class. And all of a sudden, all these incredible, magical, mystical doors are opening in my business and opportunities. And then the pyramids here were calling. And I'm just like, I have to surrender my ego agenda and go with it. And I went, and it turned out to be a honeymoon. And we had healers and private sound healings and cenotes at the beach at dawn, and private Mayan ceremonies and I'll share more about that, but that just happened. And we just kept going with it. We just kept saying, oh, I guess we're meant to stay. Oh, I guess we're meant to go there. And again, we let that flow, that divine wisdom just continue to guide our thoughts and guide our steps and guide everything in complete faith, because I'm living in the end result. And the end result is harmony, peace, and love. And I want more of my life to be integrated. So this is the symbol that our rings are, that are the place. This is on the ground at the well. It's the one we use in my infinity healing chambers, in my sacred light body school, and in the light body healing that I'm going to be teaching you in Daily Magic. And this is the beautiful mother goddess. Isn't she gorgeous? And we got to decorate her. And this was right about when the water was getting ready to start. And you can see there's a lot of spirits above me, around me, especially on my left in the picture, our right looking at the picture. This is the lion's head, where you drink from it. You can fill your bottles of water, you can drink from it. And this was a spontaneous picture. We just walked around doing things, and these wonderful men were taking pictures, and we have these profound memories. And so if you look at this picture, you can feel the waters, you can receive the medicine, the energies, you can receive the love, or you could receive the flower energies. All of this is so profound. And I found it interesting that my ankh, which is the necklace I'm wearing on the top, I rarely wear that. I've had it for a long time. And as we were looking for our rings, we went into this vintage store that was selling a beautiful tiger's eye necklace on a real silver chain. So I took it, and then I took the real silver chain and I put my ankh on it that had all the stones, and everything again just kept unfolding like that. We found rings in the store in case we didn't get the chalice well rings that ended up being profound in another way. So we wear those on the other hand. They're sacred geometry. So thank you for sharing in my magic story and in believing magic for yourself. It's not just for me. This doesn't happen because I'm a millionaire or because everything went right in my life. In fact, almost the complete opposite. Constantly allowing the ups and downs of life to unfold and let go and to trust. So have a beautiful and blessed day, and I will see you Saturday for Daily Magic. See what else. Yeah. Bye, everybody. I love you. I'll see you later. Hi, Lucille and Danny and Witness and Chana Joy. Thank you, guys. Love you. Bye-bye.